Welcome to Two Women in Crypto, a weekly podcast birthed on a whim by two women who are excited about the cryptocurrency landscape and have a shared passion about empowering others to step into the digital, tokenized world of the future. We offer tips, tricks, and our own individual insights as to how to begin to navigate this shift. We are not financial advisors nor experts. We are just here to encourage you to look at the possibilities. So welcome to the future. You're right on time. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Doing well. So happy to see your face and to be back with you.
Yes. And I'm gonna apologize up front, folks. I have a little bit of a bug, so if my voice sounds a little husky, I'm not doing it on purpose. It is just one of those things. So if there's a few coughs that slip in, my apologies, but we are both glad to be back in the same space together because there's so much to talk about, right? Every week.
So much. Yeah, so much to talk about. I know. So, it's funny because I was thinking about the Super Bowl last year and, all the buzz around crypto because everybody was getting into crypto around the Super Bowl last year. And Coinbase had, its commercial with the QR code, and they were giving away, I think, like 10 or $15 when you scanned your QR code on the television screen, and it crashed their servers because so many people did it. And there's a company called Limit Break, and it's like a gaming company, and they're giving away like thousands of NFT dragons with the same concept of like you're gonna, you could take your scanning function on your camera, scan the QR code when it comes up on the television screen during the Super Bowl, and you could win like a free dragon NFT, which is really kind of cool, and it's interactive.
Interesting. Well, I mean, there was a whole article I read recently, and it might have been through the Coin Bureau about NFT clothing as well.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots of things, but back to the Super Bowl, it was last year that Matt Damon had his little moment for the Super Bowl commercial. Wasn't that correct?
Yeah. I think he did crypto.com, and it was all like, kind of like something about being brave.
Yeah. History favors the bold, or something.
Right. History favors the brave. And now those same companies didn't buy the Super Bowl commercial slots because we've been bleeding money in the crypto space. But I got to tell you, that's going to come to an end. I'm looking at institutional adoption. I'm looking at the money flowing into, and it really kind of ruffles my feathers in a way, because when I listen to JP Morgan and all of these major corporations telling, the average people, like through like news media, that crypto is a pet rock and crypto is going to zero. Meanwhile, all of this adoption is happening. Like Dell joined the board of governors for Hedera Hashgraph a couple days ago. Really interesting how they're using like IBM, Google, Dell, and all of these board of governors. There's so many companies, and they are the ones that have the nodes for Hedera. Very centralized, but this is kind of like there's going to be decentralized and centralized projects, and I'm really starting to lean towards Hedera, not financial advice, but like being a big time winner in this new system. So again, crypto's not going to zero. We just want to find the projects that are being adopted and what problems are they solving and how are these tokens going to be used. So yeah, so pretty exciting.
Yeah, and the one thing I just want to mention too, when we talk about these projects, we're looking at the long-term landscape. We're not talking about a quick play here, because even though we're having this nice little surge into the market right now, there's always that old adage of sell in May and walk away, and we still have to go through the eclipse season.
So I just as a side note, for those that are just tuning in that may not be familiar with how Andrea and I talk about the markets, et cetera, we are looking at long-term investments here. And none of this is financial advice, but for our own individual financial theses or investment theses, we are looking long term. So just know that even though we're very bullish in theory, the markets may not necessarily appear as that, and they may not necessarily appear like that throughout this year. So, but we are long term.
Yeah, and it's such a good point because like Kelly was saying, like long term, and then if we're still on this bear cycle, but now is the time to dollar cost average into these projects, right? Into Hedera, into Bitcoin and some of these projects, because we don't really want a dollar cost average into Bitcoin when it's $50,000, right? So, now it's just such a good time to just, every week, every month, just dollar cost average. And then once the tides turn, the tides are going to turn, and just looking at it from like a technological perspective, things are really, advancing and speeding up like in the tech field. So
extraordinarily fast. I mean, it's like mind-blowing when you really lean into what's happening in that field.
Yeah, for sure.
GPT and many other things beyond that.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder too to be like, we're in a technology war and there's a race, right? There's an artificial intelligence race. And so, again, it's just like currency wars, geopolitical wars. There's just so many things going on. But, at the end of the day, like, who would have thought, like, in our lifetime, that we would take our phone, scan a television screen to get a digital, non-fungible token of a dragon? Here we are.
Hey, I want to have to participate in and I won't go down that esoteric route, but I may have to take a peek at it just to see.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fun. It's definitely fun. I like the interactiveness, and I'm telling like parents, who have kids like young, teenagers, like how cool would it be like have everybody have their phones ready, because with Coinbase the servers just crashed, right? It couldn't handle the amount of traffic. So just as soon as you see it pop up, boom, quick scan it, and maybe you'll win. I mean, kind of cool.
That would be interesting.
Yep. So, and again, not besides like that project with Limit Break, there's not too many exciting things that are going on. Like Canada's doing, they have a crypto exchange called Bitbuy. So they have a slot for a commercial and a TurboTax. So they kind of incorporate crypto in its upcoming like commercial. So 3 crypto commercials we can expect on Sunday, and we'll just kind of take it from there, right? Really interesting though too, like before we jump into like some Cardano news, there's so much buzz going on around Algorand. So I guess like the founders of Algorand, they were at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. No, not the Gates Foundation, the Clinton Foundation. And they got a picture with Hillary Clinton, and so many people were posting on Twitter, I sold all my Algorand.
Sure.
And I think a lot of this stuff is like, as investors, like no emotion, right? We all use the dollar to purchase goods and services every single day. And the dollar is used in the most nefarious reasons. Like for me, I wouldn't not own Algorand because I don't like Hillary Clinton. No one likes Hillary Clinton. No one likes Bill Gates. Not no one. I'm sure there's a couple people. I don't know how, but
well, I think it's about the willingness to play the game, and I think we speak about that often.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of the fact that this is a game, and there's those 64 squares on that chessboard, and each piece is being played, and I'm aware enough to be willing to participate in that game based on what I see as the possibility, and then I will exit when the time is right. I can go in and out. So
Exactly, exactly, exactly. You know, and this is like kind of like as this like wealth transfer continues, you know, this is the time for people that want to do good in the world to build their wealth. So you can use your money to help your community, to help your family and friends, because we're not sure how this whole thing is going to play out like over the next several years. So, you know, we really want to build our wealth, hold on to our wealth, and just keep growing it. And then when the time is right, you know, we're going to do really good things and help be the change we want to see in the world. And that's what this is all about. It's not really about money. Like, I love the game. I find it very challenging, but it's just the technology is amazing. It blows my mind. But then, you know, it's not really about money, right? It's you could
well,
feel it.
yeah, I think that's a really important part. And I think that's a part of everybody's, again, going back to that, what is their investment thesis? What is their relationship with money? You know, when I think of wealth and money, I don't think of material goods. I don't think of going out and buying a new handbag since I'm a woman, or a pair of shoes, or a pair of slacks, or anything like that. I think about leaving a legacy for my family, community, and things of that nature. So, but again, no judgment one way or the other, whatever your relationship is with that concept of what money is. But that's part of really defining what it is and why you would consider entering into the market, and why are you leaning in and learning about these things. So I think it's all very important.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And I think it's like a really good time to like sit with, you know, if you've been in early in some of these projects, and once they're adopted, you know, like what is your intention? Like, what are your goals? Things that, you know, really thinking about what exit plan, right? Uh, when when we're in a bull cycle, you know, so like it's like, you know, we're talking about this, about Cardano and SingularityNET. Um, maybe even like this, and I kind of want to talk about the technology and how it's right. Chat GPT is generative. It's a common. I think as humans is to sit with, okay, so we got, I know we're really aging ourselves, but like you would turn your computer on and the cursor, your screen was gray and the cursor would just boop, boop, that was DOS. And here we are having the capability to ask artificial intelligence questions and get a very articulate answer in a relatively small period of time. So I think people who were talking about artificial intelligence and maybe like the singularity, like that point of time when artificial intelligence has the same intelligence as a human being, and how quickly we are moving to that point of time.
Right.
So I've been listening for 6 years to like Singularity University. Ray Kurzweil, okay. He was, I think he teaches a lot there, and he actually sold his company and joined Google. He's like big time into like, moving this technology to hit that singularity moment, right? That artificial general intelligence moment. But then I look at Ben Goertzel, who is the chief scientist for Hanson Robotics, the creator of Sophia the Robot. Sophia the Robot was the first robot to receive citizenship in Saudi Arabia. I know.
So odd. Yes, continue, please.
Kelly, this is like, our world is going to be you think odd?
That's okay. I'm good.
But this is the time to talk about these things, right? Because, I listen to interview after interview. I've been listening, especially to like Ben Goertzel. I really think he wants benevolent AI. Okay. So when he's been working and creating SingularityNET, and when it first came out, he put it like, on top of Ethereum. And Ethereum uses a programming language called Solidity, which he felt wasn't as modern as Cardano's blockchain. So Cardano uses Haskell. Sorry, Kelly's just really not sick, but she's just at that residue. So she's gonna have to put herself on mute, like all.
Or if you're watching this, I apologize. I'm trying not to give you a show, but I can't in Zoom. I can't just make her. Anyway, I guess I could turn my camera off, but anyway, I figured this is less distracting, but anyway, continue.
Hey,
yes.
This isn't scripted, right? This is coming live.
It is what it is. I haven't been sick
and,
but
and it's super important. Like, I think like, I really want everyone to try to wrap their heads around this, because, with Ben Goertzel, he's got a ton of interviews, with Charles Hodgkinson, and, and I hear them, and in almost every single video, they talk about, as we move towards the singularity, towards artificial general intelligence, do we want Google, Facebook, Apple, IBM, all these super centralized systems to control artificial intelligence? So what the mission of Cardano and SingularityNET is to create benevolent AI. Okay, so to teach artificial intelligence about empathy, compassion, having a role for humanity within this artificial intelligence that's coming up, smart cities that are decentralized, because whether we like it or not, everything is going to become smart. I'm listening to the radio station on my way to the store early this morning. A regular radio station is talking about the automation of the lights, your red light, green light, when you go up to a light and it's red for 3 minutes and you're kind of looking around and there's no cars around, AI will turn that light green for you, because it's going to become smart. So, I just think about that, because when I think about, and I get the question all the time about, well, the dollar and the euro and the yen, like all of these fiat currencies aren't going to go away. And are you sure these systems are going to be using the tokens? And I'm just like, we have to stop thinking about the dollar. Okay.
Right.
Because these machines are going to be autonomous and they are going to pay themselves the fees, whatever it is, with AGIX for SingularityNET, with ADA for Cardano, which is decentralized. So there's going to come a time, I think, that we're going to have to choose, right? Play the game, but then everyone knows I love Cardano. I was an early investor. I saw their vision. I think there's like a lot of good, just so many good things that can come from this technology. And then again, after listening to all of these interviews over and over again, and I think about, okay, we have tech stacks, right? So let's just say you have the hardware. So you're building the computer, and then you have databases, operating systems. Then all of a sudden we have cloud computing. Now we have the blockchain. Well, now we're going to have artificial intelligence sitting on top of the blockchain that autonomously is going to be connected and talking to each other, collaborating with each other. The AI will be working together. We can hire AI to do our work through smart contracts between these systems.
Yeah, you really have to be, and it's moving, as we said earlier, so extraordinarily fast. I mean, it's here, it's happening, it's now. Yeah, really have to be looking at how to reinvent what is our own identity within a world such as this. How do we reinvent how we interact?
Yeah, because, oh, what was that last thing you said? You cut out.
And participate, interact, participation. What is it going to look like?
Yeah, because I mean, I think about like Ben Goertzel's talking about, and we're not there yet, but it was always my theory of like, this is when we're going to hit like that quantum level, that quantum computing, that general artificial intelligence, right? Which will not stop there. Then it'll become like a artificial superior intelligence. And how fast, when you think about how fast was it since we created DOS to, being able to create content on the internet, to have smartphones. Now we can type into Chat GPT and, it can pass the medical board. That's how smart it is. And it already did. So, so how, it's kind of like that exponential growth. It gets quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. So I think like I watched an interview, they were interviewing Ben Goertzel about 13, 14 days ago. When do you think we're going to hit artificial general intelligence? And he said, well, I'm going to go with what Ray Kurzweil says, 2045. It could be as soon as 2030.
Yeah.
Or it could be 2050, right? We don't know. You can never know for sure. It's just the machine, the computational power, like getting all that hardware, getting all of the infrastructure in place, to keep pushing this out. But like, again, I could see our world changing in ways that we cannot wrap our minds around, and humans have difficulty changing. And as every year that goes by, the world's going to change. 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 So as human beings, we need to be flexible and we need to embrace change, because the world that we know today is not going to exist in 2 years. It's
Right.
not.
And that technology, regardless of if it's 2045 or not, it's a drip system, right? So that technology is already in play somewhere. And it's a matter of when does it actually come down and hit the masses? I mean, we've seen it time and time and time again, and especially right now, the technology has already been developed, just like Chat GPT. That's been hanging around for a long time. So, in another parallel universe, whatever you want to say, it's already very much in the mainstream process. So
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing, you know, and this is like one of the things that makes me super hopeful is that if Cardano and SingularityNET is the only project focused on benevolent AI, we know our government, the World Economic Forum, all governments, all elite leaders do not care about humanity. They don't. Because if they did, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in now, and it would have been a way more collaborative conversation. So, will everybody transition into Cardano, into SingularityNET, if they're one of the only projects that's looking to create a decentralized artificial intelligence that is all peer-to-peer? Anyone can build AI on top of these blockchains and this tech stack. You know, they're very open about it. They're very transparent about it. They've been saying the same things year after year after year after year. I don't hear this from IBM or like any of these other companies. You know, it's more about keeping the status quo and how can we wrap our arms around and control this technology and centralize it, and they can't. Because and my thing is, you know, and as an investor, like in the crypto world, absolutely I'm going to be supporting Cardano and Singularity because again, decentralization, decentralized artificial intelligence, and hopefully Sophia the Robot will have this empathy and will have, you know, how can I assist humanity and not take it over? Because these are going to be huge ethical things and moral things that are just going to rise. And it's just like if AI learns from the machines, who's inputting all the information into the computer? We are. Do we stand in love? Do we show up for the greater good of society every single day? Or are we looking to manipulate the system to make a quick buck? We need to advance. We need to create, we need to really download some really serious emotional intelligence. Now, there's a handful of us, but we're a handful. And I think most people like to manipulate and just get one over on people, right? Which is not good for society. It's not good for this artificial intelligence, you know, like the military capabilities of this intelligence, like that balloon flying around. It's a joke. Think about how advanced our military operations all over the world with this intelligence, you know? So it's just very, very interesting. And you see these things like we still go to war. We kill people. We steal from people. We're not honest with people. AI is learning this, folks. We need to change.
Yeah, that's
It's
really
just poor Kelly. Oh, I know. So she's just been struggling with this cough. So we got it going on. But you know, I really believe like Charles and Ben, they're absolute geniuses. I think they have their hearts in the right place. But we're gonna keep on top of this because I want to see, okay, so Chat GPT came out and what happened? Microsoft invested a gazillion dollars into Chat GPT. And then the next day it's like Google's like, oh my God, I need to buy some of this too, because they want to control this artificial intelligence. And we need this to be decentralized. I cannot, I said for humanity, we're moving into a new paradigm. And it has to be one that's based in love. And we can build a utopia, or we can wipe. I mean, I'm looking at wiping out mass civilization too, because this is just not a good thing when we look at what these people have done. We look at these countries and they fund both sides of the war. Like people don't understand this. And it's just like, you know, I think love can win and love can conquer all, but it's gotta be like each individual person has to start sitting with some of these like ethical and moral questions because the time is now, you know, and like what we put into the computer system matters. Yeah, I used to tell people like one of the top sites that people would go and visit is like those porno sites. That has to stop, right? Like just certain things that we do. And, you know, like I think we need to wake up in the morning and be like, how can I be the best person I can be today? Put all the bullshit aside. Sorry, BS aside. It's so important right now, you know?
Yeah,
All
and
right.
everything that we do is captured. So if you think
Everything.
so, yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So I just really wanted to drive that home because I'm seeing the centralization of these systems. I'm also seeing the decentralization of these systems. And it makes me feel good because I know me and Kelly and everyone here at Two Women in Crypto, when you share these videos, you know, like we're in the right place at the right time. But like, again, we can have all the money in the world, but if China and the United States and all these major corporations, if they have a stronghold on this technology, it doesn't matter how much money we have. And you know, so I just want to share that with everybody. Like to me, you know, this isn't about becoming like a gazillionaire. This is about how can we steer this technology for the good of all. We can
Right.
really solve some complicated problems with this technology. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like the medicine, just the access for everybody. But if it's centralized, it'll be controlling. You know, like I think they're rolling out the digital pound soon, like they're talking about it. And again, there's going to be like a cap of $10,000. Control. You can't tell me how much money I can have in my account, how much money I can spend. So, you know, right. So, and again, shifting into Cardano, SingularityNET, we have Pulse Chain, we have Hex, we have Monero, we have Pirate Chain. There's all these other projects that are happening, but I don't know if Pulse Chain has that AI component to it. I'm not sure, you know, or maybe they'll just all connect.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm not real savvy on the Pulse system and what heck in that whole infrastructure, what they're creating there. I know there's a
Yeah,
number of projects just like there is on Cardano or Polygon for that matter, where they're built out on that.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So, you know, it was really interesting because when I was listening to Ben Goertzel, and I have this, so Hydra with this part of Cardano is going to bring scalability to Cardano, right? And then we're going to incorporate Hydra with Plutus, which is another project on Cardano, like super sophisticated smart contracts. And then there's a hyper cycle that SingularityNET is working on. And once they can connect all of this, it's going to create decentralized artificial intelligence. And because I understand this technology, I have a pulse on when this is going to happen. And this could happen by the end of 2023, y'all. If Ben Goertzel is on his timeline, this will happen by the end of 2023. We'll have decentralized artificial intelligence. That's very, very mind blowing. And then once we have this like intelligence, then like right now we have like a ledger, right? The ledger is the blockchain. This technology is going to create a ledgerless blockchain. So people don't even know about a ledger. They don't even know about it, right? The accounting system in the sky. And then boom, maybe in a year and a half, 2 years, that's gone. We're on to the next best, greatest thing. It's going to start to become really, really difficult to stay on top of how fast this technology moves. And it blows my mind because it's exponential growth.
Can you imagine those that aren't even, I mean, not that you and I are extraordinarily savvy, and I don't put myself in that category, but can you imagine for the people that really have no idea what's happening out there in terms of this technological explosion? I mean, yeah, it'll be overwhelming for a lot of people. But
I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't, I can't imagine. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention because we are quickly moving towards, you know, this level of intelligence. So I just wanted to like really kind of drive that point home. The other thing I wanted to just kind of touch base on is, our friend Gary Gensler.
Yeah.
He's coming after us, y'all, for staking our coins.
Yeah, I read something briefly about that, and then I just kind of went, oh goodness, what's Gary up to now?
Yeah, so he's saying that staking your coins is a security, which it's not. So I don't know. I mean, it got released, I think, late yesterday. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so right now I know a lot of us have our coins staked. We're definitely going to be like keeping a pulse on this. And at this point as well, like I think Gary Gensler is so corrupt. He is not, he is so out of control. Everything that he is doing is against Congress. You don't just sue companies to sue them. So we have Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, and he is making the plea for everybody. I think my dog got out. Can you hit pause?
Sure.
Sorry about that. My dog was barking at the neighbors.
Glad she's
So
okay.
she's okay. Yeah, I couldn't see her. So I was like, did she get out? So yeah, so with Gary Gensler, I mean, I find this whole thing he's just getting out of control. And again, I think they really want to just bypass Congress and let them do like whatever they want. Because I mean, they just want more power, more control, and more centralization of government, and not following the Constitution of the United States. And right now they're getting away with it. So Brian Armstrong, super articulate. He's the CEO of Coinbase. He explains why staking your coins is not a security. And we really need Ripple to win this lawsuit. I mean, I have listened to Stuart Alderati, the general counsel for Ripple. And if when this case is done, the SEC is going to be shamed. The things that are in these Hinman email documents, it is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So I mean, I know we've been speculating for years now when the SEC lawsuit will come to a close, but the speculation is now by summertime, but who knows, right? But this year?
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think a lot of it is like, Brad Garlinghouse said like single digits this year. And there's so much, I mean, the speculation and some of these YouTubers, it's just insane. Like people like make stuff up just to get like likes or subscribers or what. I mean, and this is part of what you're putting into the system matters. Like, be honest, be truthful. This is what the world needs, not, XRP is going to $589. It's not. Maybe it's not tomorrow, maybe $2-3. Like, we don't know, right? So stop it. But we know it's going up. And I'm thinking like, listening to Brad Garlinghouse, it could be tomorrow, definitely first half of the year, and we'll see. I mean, things change. It's going to be up to this judge. Because Gary Gensler's not going to declare XRP a commodity or a virtual currency, which it really is, right? It's a bridge currency. So I'm not sure. But and again, if Gary Gensler gets away with what he's trying to get away with, the entire world is moving to a new economy that's leveraged on technology. Okay. So if you take away staking, if you declare all of this innovation securities, then all of these companies are going to leave America, and America is going to be very, very poor. People don't understand. Everything is moving to technology. ChatGPT, artificial general intelligence. If the United States does not empower its people to learn and to shift into this, it's over. Like, people are not going to have that level and quality of life that they have right now, because everyone else is going to move into this technology. They already are. They already are. I mean, I saw Japan SBI Holdings. Well, they're working on creating a new MetaMask because we know MetaMask is controlled by JP Morgan, right? Consensus, same thing. So what they want to build a new wallet, a new decentralized MetaMask wallet, SBI Holdings. SBI Holdings is in Japan. They own 40% of Ripple Asia. Do you think they're going to use XRP for the gas fees, just like we go on MetaMask and we want to do our swaps? Right. And we know Ethereum is so expensive. Who wouldn't use Japan's wallet? Because if you're using XRP to settle the gas fees, you're talking about a fraction of a penny and no longer $25, $50, $150 when we're in a bull cycle, right? I mean, so Gary is either handing our country over. I don't know. It just nothing. You know, it's not like we're not doing anything to keep America like on top. You know, so if he does this with the staking stuff, it's just shame on him and shame on all of us for not standing up, because this is our world, you know. And I know a lot of people aren't even into this, you know. Like sometimes I'll go and look at, you know, Algorand, right? They have a YouTube channel. There's only 15,000 subscribers, right? I just, you know, so people don't know this is going on, but when they do, it's too late. And that's kind of like the shame of it. But, you know, I'm hoping that Ripple wins the lawsuit, gets declared a digital currency, I don't care what it is, anything but a security, and then all these other projects can just move forward. And they should, right? Because Library won the appeal, right? So they said, you know, the initial sales of Library to their investors, securities. But when the investors turned around and gave Library tokens to retail, not a security. When you're on Odyssey and you're creating content and you're getting paid out in Library tokens, not a security. So that's the same thing that we want to see happen with not just XRP, but with all of them. So, you know, because again, if we keep losing innovation, right? And if more and more companies go to the Bahamas, like FTX did, and Singapore and Dubai and all of these things, you know, look at Ripple. Ripple is a United States-based company. You go to London and they're plastered everywhere. Not so, I mean, they're in Wall Street, right? But that's really it, you know, with like showing because of regulation. It's just, it's just, well, maybe this is equity and inclusion. We have to knock the United States down to their knees with this tech to make everybody equal. Everyone's gonna own nothing and be happy. I don't know.
The United States makes it extraordinarily difficult.
Yeah.
To participate in any facet of this, really. It's not necessary.
Right. And again, like that control, that greed and corruption, all of that is going into these machines. So we don't want Gary in charge anymore. You know, he's a bankster. Gary Goldman Sachs Gensler, you know, like he's just a bankster, you know, like all of them, you know, the government, everything needs to be changed, and hopefully it will. And again, once AI hits, let's just say AI hits general intelligence by 2030, we don't need a government anymore, because they're going to be so much smarter, that those machines are going to be so much smarter than any person. I mean, not that anyone's really super smart in the government, but you know what I mean.
Right.
I mean, you know, we can have decentralized governance.
Well, and as the FTX scenario continues, if we ever really learn the truth, hopefully that will be a main parting of the curtains in regards to Gary's involvement there.
Yep. And I just, you know, I'm really hoping that this stuff gets exposed for sure. But we'll keep everybody posted.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. So I think that's all I have. Let me just double check my notes. And 2045, maybe sooner. Let's just keep that in mind because that is just not that far away. We're talking 20 years, folks. 20 years.
I think it'll be sooner. I'm vying for that. I mean, I just feel like I don't know how they can. I think they'll just keep on escalating everything. So it is. Here we are having the human experience, and then we die.
And then we die. And how cool is it that we get to witness and observe this mass transformational like moment of society while so many people don't even know this is happening. Like there's so many things that are like mind-blowing, you know? I really feel like this is like a new season of the Matrix, right? Like there's those who can see, and then there's those who are trapped in the day-to-day, you know, doldrums of just not thinking or questioning or anything.
Well, and I get that too. I mean, we're all running this simulation, and it's, you know, sometimes life is complicated and life can be really, really hard. And sometimes staying in, just making it through the day after day after day is the best that we can do. So we're all where we're supposed to be, but we hope that to continue to kind of peel back the layers so people can see what's really taking place.
Yeah. Yep. And again, like even if you're not like super techie, you know, geeks like me and Kelly, not financial advice, but just get a little bit of Cardano, open yourself up a Yuri wallet and stake it.
So many options out there, folks. So many options.
So many options.
Give up that once a week coffee. That's it. That's all you have to do.
That's all you got to do. I like that theory. How much is a cup of coffee by you anyway? Like $10?
Well, since I don't go buy a cup of coffee, I have no idea. But I would imagine if you get a specialty drink like at Starbucks, if we go there, I would imagine like a grande size or whatever would probably be close. I'm guessing $6, $7. I have no idea.
$6, $7. That's a bunch of Cardano.
It is. I mean, you know, do that once a month. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Sign me up.
You know, that's right.
I know.
All right, cool.
All right. Well, until next week, as always, what did we say?
Huddle on.
Your hosts for Two Women in Crypto are Andrea Caldero and Kelly Lair. You'll find more information and details regarding the Two Women in Crypto membership, educational and informative class and event offerings, and more via their website, twowomeninCrypto.com. Both Andrea and Kelly are available for speaking events and offer private consultations focused on helping individuals navigate the future. Until next time, huddle on.